Yo, 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 good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday, guys. We are here. We are finally here. Good morning. I apologize for the delay. We are moving, so we have some stuff going on. It's gonna be busy in the next few weeks. We've had landscapers outside. Had to wait for some maintenance people to do their thing, but we are here. So I appreciate you guys for tagging along and waiting along here. Yeah, I saw some of you guys already in the chat, so I appreciate that. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. As you know, I am known to talk to myself. So just let me know if the audio is good. Appreciate you guys watching over there on Twitter as well. X, whatever you want to call it. I'm always going to call it Twitter. X just is weird. And it's like, what do you still, is it still tweets that you send out or is it X's that you send out? Like, what are we doing? But yeah, so I appreciate you guys. If you are watching on YouTube, if you would subscribe and like the little show here and subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic as well. I always forget to say shit like that. So, especially on Browsing Media, I need to do the business side a little bit more, right? But y'all, we have so much shit to talk about, and it's almost like you don't really know where to start. Because there's so much we could go in depth on the whole Brock Lesnar return, SummerSlam, SmackDown last night. So to be honest, I didn't even really know what to put as the title because there's just so much shit that we need to talk about. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get through it all today, but I think we do need to start with obviously the biggest, and that's Brock Lesnar's return. So I'll be changing the title later. But SmackDown as well because I think the whole John Cena turn within this past week, like the past 7 days, has been pretty crazy. Especially on the John Cena SmackDown side of things, Brock Lesnar, all that good stuff. So, like I said, we will get all into that. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Like I said, let me pull up the chat here and we'll get into it. But good morning, Sai. Good morning, boss. Happy Melon Day, Zach. It's Melon Day. All right. Per Zach Minger, it is Melon Day. So happy Melon Day, everyone. There's, there's some jokes, but I'm gonna leave it alone this fine Saturday morning. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Y'all are fantastic. Good morning, Marty. Good morning. Good morning. RVD is sadly not here. That'd be dope as hell. But we sadly don't have RVD here today. But y'all are stuck with me, man. So I'm sorry. But Sai, I actually YouTube just crashed on me. Have you guys been having issues with YouTube? I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if it's like a just a sporadic thing or if it's more getting to be more common. But they, I know, Sai. I know. I wanted to say the joke, but this is my channel. Like I don't want to push too many boundaries. I already say enough like f bombs and I already gotta watch my mouth. Not that anyone said anything, but I try to be mindful of my on this channel here. But yeah. Oh gosh, guys. Oh, but yes, we have additions to the Clash in Paris lineup. Y'all are great. And like I said, we'll obviously go over SmackDown here. Not honestly, we're not going to do a full in-depth review of SmackDown, but I do want to talk about the Charlotte and Alexa Bliss of it all because I think I'm going to be in the minority on this, but I thought that segment, the whole celebration with the birthday cake, for the title celebration, and then the mesh into Alexa's birthday apparently. I hosted by Charlotte. I thought that shit. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be so cringe, but I thought it was entertaining. I chuckled. I thought it played the line so well. So I'm just gonna start with that. I don't even have the notes pulled up, but we had obviously Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss win the Women's Tag Team Championships over this past SummerSlam weekend. The whole thing was they're not friends, right? Their shirts even say we're not friends. I forget what it says on the back, but it says we're not friends on the front. Obviously, they've been getting a little closer and their chemistry has built, right? They did have that miscommunication on Sunday or whatever day it was at SummerSlam. We'll just say at SummerSlam. But Charlotte was able to put that aside and didn't take, because I think what was like a punch that Alexa hit Charlotte with, and then they set up that really good angle or camera angle where Alexa was setting up. I forget who she had in this in Sister Abigail, but Charlotte. So Alexa was in the center. Charlotte was in the far kind of like diagonal corner turnbuckle behind her, and you'd see, and it's like, oh shit, Charlotte's pissed. She's gonna fucking like give Alexa Bliss a big boot or do some shit to her or whatever. She couldn't really hit her. I guess she could hit her in the back from with the big boot, but that's kind of shitty. But no, Charlotte beelines it for, was it Raquel? I think it was Raquel. So it was really cool. It was really cool. And then fast forward to last night, guys, I thought it was funny. I thought Charlotte played her role so well. I thought that it was cringe, but that was the point. That was the point because it's almost like an inside joke type thing, or maybe not a joke, but you know, like that thing where we all know what's going on in the obvious, but it's like unspoken type shit. Charlotte, her character is reluctantly allowing Lexi, you know, it's weird hearing Alexa Bliss called Lexi, right? But Alexa Bliss in. And I thought my favorite moment, and shout out to Charlotte, bro. Like, it was just perfect. She's standing there and she's like, I'm going to allow you to give the queen a hug. And she stands there with her arms open and she's just like, come on, Lexi, hug the queen. And I was just like, bro, I don't know why I loved it so much, but I want to go back and rewatch it. I thought it was fantastic because it's acknowledging, it's having Charlotte acknowledge the elephant in the room, right? But have fun with it and use that quote unquote weakness, right, as a strength and really have fun with it. And man, Alexa Bliss is the perfect partner for Charlotte and the perfect, I don't want to say foil for this, but the perfect dance partner for this, and whatever you want to call it, right? Just their chemistry, the size difference, just the superstardom level. And I mean that in the sense that, you know, because Charlotte is queen bee, right? Quote unquote. Like, Charlotte is the top of the food chain, obviously, most championships, all that stuff. But Alexa has always had a diehard fan base, bro. Like, Alexa, she obviously she could be gone for, what was it, a year, 2 years, a year and a half, some shit, whatever. Come back and be over AF. You know what I mean? And her fan base is just one of those like diehard loyal fan bases. So to see that goodwill that Alexa Bliss has and she's built up allows Charlotte to come in and just kind of like piggyback off of that and kind of just like absorb some of that. It's awesome, dude. And when they got to, okay, you know, let me take a sip because I know this is, I know. We all hate Lily, right? The doll. Lily the doll. We're all tired of Lily the doll. I thought it was fantastic how Charlotte was giving Alexa a present, right? And the first one was Lily the doll, but with the We're Not Friends t-shirt. Cute, right? And thoughtful. If you're Alexa Bliss, you love the doll. To be fair, she hasn't been so attached to it lately, but she still comes out with it, and would like throw it to the side, at least before she was with Charlotte. I think she still does, but whatever. Charlotte then says, "Oh, it gets better," type shit. And she pulls out Charlie, a doll that looks damn near identical to Lily, has different hair though, like stringier hair, and has the same shirt on, but it's obviously a reflection of Charlotte. And bro, when she pulled that doll out and said the name Charlie, the fans started chanting Charlie, and that made me so happy. And you could see the joy on Charlotte's face too, because that's how you know when you're in good with the fans, in my opinion, is when you can get something like that that's so silly and so obnoxious over. It's like Jericho, right? When he would say like the list. And Jericho is one of those like The Rock and in that realm where they can say like pretty much like whatever word they want the audience to, shout out Colin back. Any word they want the fans to, or if it's like a specific like slogan or whatever they want the fans to chant, you say it and it's gets over, right? Like it, or at least they'll kind of pick up on what you want. They're picking up what you're putting down, right? And they'll say it. So for the fans to react that way for Charlotte immediately to chant Charlie, I was just like, bro, the job well done. The mission here is working to get Charlotte in the good graces. And I just hope they don't pull the trigger on breaking them up anytime soon. Whether it's the cliche Charlotte turning on Alexa or even taking a wild turn and having Alexa turn on Charlotte. I just feel like that'd be such a waste. So I know eventually they're gonna have to break up, right? But it doesn't even have to be one of those tumultuous breakups or one turns on the other or anything like that. It can just be, like they each have like obviously singles goals and stuff like that. So I don't think we're anywhere near that point, but I hope they don't rush it either, just to do something. So I love what they're doing with Charlotte, and of course, before we could get the hug, and Alexa was fantastic too. Alexa, she's not playing this role where she's like, oh, like this little like giddy schoolgirl or anything like that. Like she is hesitant of Charlotte still. So she was holding the dolls and she was kind of like inching over to the side and she was putting her shoulder, like her side, to Charlotte's chest instead of like, so it would be like where Charlotte would have to hug her. And right as she got close enough, then that's when Chelsea Green's music played. And they were in Canada, right? So she got a decent reaction, good reaction. Um, but people were still upset that the moment was interrupted. So that again says a lot. Uh, I don't know, man. I know a lot of people are not gonna like it, and I totally get it. I'm surprised that I liked it, but I just thought that I don't know something something about that segment, bro. Like it was just so like it was the hug, dude. It was the hug that just like cracked me up. So again, like I said, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it because I just thought that shit was just hilarious. And Sai, you said this is really character rehab, and in real life for Charlotte, they're doing it so well. Yeah, dude, 100%, 100%. I'm just so happy for her, bro. Like if y'all have heard me before, which good majority of you guys have, y'all know how I feel about Charlotte, so I'm just very happy that it's working and it doesn't feel forced. Like maybe I'm again in the minority, but I don't feel like it feels forced or anything like that. Again, like I could see how you would think maybe the segment last night was kind of cringe, but I think it's working, and you have to go through the motions in the sense for a character like Charlotte, and it's just crazy to think that how long ago? I mean, a few months ago now, Chicago was just booing the fuck out of her, and they were just she was just not. It was just night and day, night and day. So props to them. Props to Charlotte for being vulnerable and going out there and really owning everything and kind of being an open book in a sense. Obviously, the players trivia we went over on my channel. Um, but yeah, I feel like that really between that and the timing of everything with the partnership of Alexa Bliss, I think that's really helped soften her up a bit and make her more truly relatable as as a human being, and not just someone who's royalty and who's above everyone and who's already was it 15, 14, 15 time champion. That's insane, right? Just effing insane. But yeah, so props to them. I think they're doing a fantastic job. So keep it up, guys. Keep it up. But the boss, you bring up a very good topic, which we will be leading into. He says Cena and Logan makes sense after the pay per view where they tagged up. Still hate Logan. Should have been Cena and AJ. So I like honestly, like I'm not really pressed to see another Cena and AJ match. AJ's just not in the spot where to me it would really hit. Where we have if Cena didn't have a certain amount of dates, 11 dates now, which I thought we had shorter or a smaller amount of dates left over than 11, but hey, I'll take it. Um I just with what they've been doing with AJ lately, I don't see how AJ would really fit in. I think it'd be a fun match, but I don't, man, the match that they had in 2016, I just think there's no topping that. So I almost like wouldn't even really want to taint that in a way. And when I saw Logan Paul come out, I was like, man, like we're really going to use one of the dates on Logan Paul. And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even mad about it. I'm actually here for it. The posters though, the artwork that they it's fantastic. Off of like the Starry Night, play off of that, fantastic. But with Logan Paul, like you said, boss, like you said, you still hate Logan Paul. But it makes sense, you know, after the pay-per-view where they were tagged up. What was that, Money in the Bank? I think it was. Logan Paul is great, man. He say what you want about him outside of the ring, right? Personally, stuff he's done in the past, all that. In the ring and athletically, the dude is just so talented and just so gifted, you know? Like, and I love his music. I love his interest name. It's just perfect for him. I wonder who performs that, but anyway, or who wrote that for him. The stuff that he does is innovative, you know, and yes, he not even probably, I'm almost certain that he has more freedom and more creative input than your average wrestler, obviously, but he puts in the work, man. Like, and he's been wrestling a lot more lately. So if we're going to get him around more and more within the next year, 2, 3 years, because what did he say he signed like a full-time contract or something like that? Was that a year ago? Obviously he's not full-time like on the road weekly, which he shouldn't be either. Even if he did sign a full-time contract, I think the schedule that he's on now is ideal for him. Um and for us, because he's one of those where you still want to treat him as a star, but you want him out there. And for him, the more we see him in the ring and the more reps he gets, the better, obviously, right? But the work that he puts in outside of the ring, like this dude has a ring at his house. So you you want to give respect to people like Jelly Roll and Bad Bunny and all them. Like you gotta put Logan Paul in there too, man. You can't. Yes, like he's done some really shitty and terrible things and said some really shitty and terrible things. But again, how many people like we have a list now of wrestlers who are really good in the ring, or we love as characters, XYZ, say whatever you want for them on the screen. And then you look at the real life list of them and it's like, wow, you know? So that's a whole nother topic. But you can't deny in the ring what he does and what he can do. So I think if you're going to really put money into Paul and really have him around, have him feud with Cena, man. I don't know if I would necessarily have him beat Cena. It's interesting to think about, and to be honest, I didn't even think about who would go over yet. Just now just thought about it. Part of me would be like, I don't know. I'm not gonna make a prediction yet, obviously, but I'm kind of 50-50 on it right now, and maybe even 60-40. Pull the trigger and have Logan Paul beat Cena. I don't think it would do anything to tear Cena down or anything like that at this point. And I'll hold that off and dig into it a little bit deeper once we get closer. But I think this is, again, depending on what side you're on, a good sign in the sense that maybe Logan Paul's gonna be sticking around a little bit more. Because bro, I see him as the heavyweight champion on the Raw side within the next 2 years. You know, I know a lot of people aren't gonna like that, but I just feel it, man. And he's good. He's good. He's great on the mic. He's so comfortable out there. He embraces it. So it's just one of those things, man. Like I feel it's only a matter of time. So this matchup with Cena, like you said, boss, it makes a lot of sense. I wasn't necessarily thinking we were gonna go that route, but hey, I'm not mad at it. And again, I think a lot of us were expecting the immediate follow up to be Cena and Lesnar, which it didn't really feel like that would be a Clash in Paris match. I was thinking more Survivor Series, obviously with it being in, I keep wanting to say Los Angeles, but in San Diego in California. that to me feels like a more proper stage for Lesnar. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Lesnar showed up in Paris and maybe interfered and cost Cena the match against Logan Paul, something like that. But I kind of felt once Lesnar came back that it would be them facing off at Survivor Series. So, and for that matter, I was thinking Logan Paul would potentially be one of the candidates for Cena's last match in Boston. So obviously that's not going to happen now, because I don't see them running it back. But I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Like, what do you think, or who do you think Cena's final opponent is going to be? I'm just sitting here assuming the Boston show is going to be a wrestling match. Obviously, it's going to be built all around Cena. And I hope they really like not. I've never advocated for a 3 hour Raw, but I hope they go past the hour and a half. Like I hope, or not the hour and a half. The what is it, like the 2 and some change time frame? They go like 2.5 hours sometimes. I hope that they really time it out well and pace it out well, because it's a big deal, right? It's going to be a big deal. It's going to be a huge show, especially if they're going to have Cena wrestling on it. They're going to want to open the show, do the match, and then, close the show thereafter, something to that effect. Well, I would assume, assuming he's going to wrestle on it. I just think it'd be crazy, like, if he goes back to Boston for the final time and he doesn't wrestle. Like, you're just going to have, like a goodbye segment. I don't know. So, again, we're way off from that, but the point of that, again, was Logan Paul was one of my high candidates for his final opponent in Boston. So I don't know, man. It's really intriguing to think about, like, the next 11 dates for Cena. And I liked what they did last night, how they had the tag match built into Cena's appearance, because it's not 11 matches or anything like that. It's appearances. So you kind of get 2 for 1 on one show. So yeah, I don't know. Again, let me take it back, because the turn for Cena back to the good guy John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect, all that. I was just like, really? Like, that's it? Like, you shit on us for 5 months, and now you're just like, oh, sorry, guys. Like, not even sorry. Like, I'm just kidding, guys. Like, I was under the influence from someone else. JK. Let's just move on. Let's just forget that ever happened. And apparently we are. Apparently we are, and we did, and everything is kumbaya in the world. So here we are. Do I think the heel turn was a mistake? No. I think the mistake or the misfortune was not having a solid plan and a solid follow-up. Now, if all that solely was built on The Rock and Travis Scott, I haven't seen the Unreal show. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. So if all that was built into The Rock, and obviously he didn't show back up and they had a falling out with Travis Scott, okay, you need to have a plan B with something as big as turning Cena heel. So while it does suck that maybe plan A didn't go as planned, you should have a plan B and C, because what if you started it off and The Rock got hurt or Travis Scott got hurt or whatever? Like, what was your plan B going to be? Like, assuming everything went according to plan A, what if some shit happens and then you have to go to plan B? So I don't know. I don't really give them an excuse. I don't really care if this person didn't show up, this person bailed. Like, no, like, that's, if you were going to pull that big of a trigger, you need to have all your bases covered. You need to have all these plans, all these, like, oh shit plans. So escape routes, like, if you're a burglar, if you're a good burglar, you're not going to just break into a house and then only know where the front door is. No, you're going to know where the windows are, if there's a basement, a garage door, a back door, stuff like that. Like, you're not going to just have one point of entry and exit. Come on. So I don't know, man. I don't give them any excuses or, oh, so sorry. Do I think it was the heel turn itself was bad? I do. I think it started off with great potential, and I think it just ended up being shit because it was forced, and you could tell they had no real sense of direction, and they were just kind of winging it. Case in point with the Cena and R-Truth thing. Yeah, I think the little segment that they had last night with the whole, like, mirroring of each other, it was cute. It was chuckling, low-key kind of chuckle. But, like, that was such a heated feud, if you want to call it that, or story. Like, R-Truth, he got, I don't say he got fired, but he got released, and not because of the Cena feud, but after that he ended up getting released. There, the whole movement, we want truth, and then he came back, and then he was raw killings. He cut his hair. He's serious. He, like, he wants people to take him seriously. All this stuff. And now last night he's just like very like, like, I will give them credit. It was kind of tongue in cheek, the way Cena addressed like the past 5 months, like, hey, it's you, like, oh, you're back, like, like, what happened, like that, like a Twilight Zone type shit. So I'll give them a little bit of a head nod to that, whatever. But I guess R-Truth is just now back to being the what's up R-Truth and making us laugh. And I don't know, man. I'm not even, again, necessarily, or wouldn't necessarily be down on that, but I am, just because we were supposed to take him seriously when he came back. And I don't understand why, just because Cena is a good guy now, like, that means R-Truth has to be this dude who doesn't know what a ladder match is. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, and he's comical as fuck. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on him. I love R-Truth. I really enjoyed it. My point is, you wanted us to take him seriously and to be like, okay, like, it's not that R-Truth anymore, it's Ron Killings. Got you. Okay, cool. But now he is. So I just want you to pick a lane and stay in it, because something like that should be a big deal. You think of the New Day turn. That should have, and that was a huge deal. And then the follow-up was just shit. So I think that's the problem that wrestling companies are running into right now in this year, is they potentially have a good idea and a good oh shit type of moment and story plot, but then I don't know if they just don't think of the follow-up, which you have to, right? Like, how can you not? Like, how do you literally are on the road every day, 5 days, like, you're constantly running, right? Is my point. 52 weeks a year is what we hear. Maybe 51, but 50 minus some holidays, right? So you can't tell me you're not thinking of what you're doing next week, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't believe that. I can't bring myself to believe that. So I don't know if it's just a matter of, oh, well, we'll probably do this. Well, we'll confirm it next week type shit. Or I don't know, man. I don't know. And maybe I would know if I watched Unreal. I don't know. But, like, I'm just, part of me is at a loss. And then part of me is just like, what? Like, really? Like, y'all get paid millions of dollars and, like, y'all, I don't know, like, this is the shit you come up with, or, like, you just didn't think of, or, like, what am I supposed to think? So it's kind of one of those conundrums sometimes. But a couple more things on Cena, and then I'm gonna get y'all's comments. I do think, though, that it's such a shame, because seeing the fans' reaction and seeing, there was like a split second there pan of the audience when Cena was making his way out, and there's this one little kid, probably had to be, what, 5, 6 years old, maybe. I'm not good at estimating kids shit, but, like, that split, maybe 2 seconds, but within that 2 seconds, you saw so much, the excitement, the love, the oh my god, Cena's here, and he was almost in tears with how happy he was to see John Cena. And to think that, man, like, those kids and that kid in Brussels, everywhere, they had to deal with the Cena sucks and, the heel Cena and all that stuff. I kind of feel for them in that regard. But again, some of it was entertaining, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that kid in the front, when he, I don't know, some of it was kind of funny to me. But I do think that they wasted a little bit of time, though. Not even a little bit. What was it, 5 months? And it wouldn't be as big of a shame as if it wasn't his last year, right? So I don't know. What up, Fernando? What up? What up? Good morning, man. Saturday. Oh, Sai says Cena's last match is slated for Saturday night's main event. It's reported, so that's gonna be and wait, Saturday. So is the Boston show gonna be Saturday night's main event? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So December 13th. Yeah, Saturday night's main event. Okay, cool. The choice of Boston. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Saturday night's main event. Okay, cool. But Takeover, culminating with this. And Undertaker show. I don't know, man. Saturday night's main event. While part of me is happy because it's a Saturday and maybe it's even more possibility, like selfishly, I can get up there, but there's just so limited time wise on that show, and there's so many commercials. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about it being on a Saturday night's main event. Damn. What up, Maria? What up? What up? Ugh. Universal, it does show that it is. I looked it up and it does show that it is going to be. The Boston show is Saturday night's main event. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, obviously, it's not set in. I mean, that date is set in stone, but what he'll be doing and all that shit, obviously, we're nowhere near that yet. But I don't know. I'm still just really intrigued to see who it ends up being against, because I think that's going to be really telling as to who they think the future is. Who I don't know. There's a lot of weight on that last opponent, so we'll see. But the card, of course, for WWE Clash in Paris has been updated. It's only 2 matches so far. We have John Cena and Logan Paul becoming official. And I guess that's staying a regular one-on-one singles match with no stipulation, which I'm here for because especially SummerSlam on Sunday, dude, like every match was a stipulation match, I think, except for Dominic and AJ Styles. Like everything was like either like street fight, TLC, something like that. I was like, good lord. um, but yeah, so it's just the John Cena and Logan Paul match, and then we have Naomi defending the Women's World Championship over on Raw against Stephanie Vaquer, which I think that's gonna be a fun match. I don't see Stephanie winning though. Well, we'll see. Right now, I don't, but the follow up though for that with is it gonna be like I forget the name? Is it Crown Jewel? They're gonna be in Perth though. Crown Jewel, yeah. Okay, cool. So on October 11th, Saturday, October 11th, WWE will be going to Perth, Australia for Crown Jewel, which obviously we know Rhea Ripley is from Australia. So you have to imagine she's going to be getting a women's championship match. The last time they were there, she was going in as the defending champion, I'm pretty certain, against Nia Jax. But you have to imagine this time she'd be going in fighting for the championship. So that's why I'm like, I just don't think that they would want to put the title on Stephanie just to have her lose it a month and a half later. So I think that's Naomi's gonna pull out some bullshit, some fuckery. Maybe, like obviously cheat, do something in the match against Stephanie to retain the championship, and then that sets up Naomi and Rhea one-on-one. Maybe not the most exciting matchup, but in my opinion, I really dig what they've been doing with Naomi lately as well. Some of it is a bit much sometimes, but I just love it. I love it. That's why I love it, because she's so extra and it's great. What she did with the briefcase was funny, making it that little. She was sitting on it like the little briefcase type shit. Just stuff like that. Like just being creative, just having fun with it. So we'll see. But that's kind of my early thoughts for Clash in Paris and then going into Perth, which, man, this year's just going by so quick. And then after that, we'll be into Survivor Series. Man, crazy. Fernando, okay, you said Cena versus Gunther would be his last match. Fernando, you're funny, bro. You used to ask Goldberg about ending the career on Saturday night's main event. Yeah, but you know, you kind of say that in jest, I'm sure. Maybe seriously, but to be fair, that's actually a very valid and a prime example because Goldberg obviously ran out of time when he was giving his speech. He had what, like 20 seconds or whatever. That's why I'm just like, bro, like, why would you do it on Saturday night's main event? You're so restricted and so handcuffed by the time limits on NBC. You're gonna have a shit ton of commercial breaks, unless you make the whole thing like commercial free. Which if that's the, I don't know. Like I don't know how that side of the business works. Um, I don't know if you can make a whole 2 hour show commercial free. Like that seems a bit much. I think the most they've done is like the first hour commercial free. But if you're gonna do that, it's almost like why not? Like I don't know, man. Like yes, still have that event, but maybe do like a Friday, and maybe they will. Maybe it'll be like a Friday and Saturday thing, but then you're not gonna have Cena give like this heartfelt speech on Friday and then still go into the match on Saturday. I don't know. So we'll see. Obviously, I'm sure, I'm hoping they have a good idea for that. But as of right now, the early signs, I'm just not happy with it being on Saturday night's main event just because of the limitations that they're gonna have. And like you said, prime example being Goldberg. And why is everyone ending their career on Saturday night's main event? Like if that's the case, like that's weird. But yeah. Oh, boss, this is a fun one. You said worst heel turn, Cena or Austin. Excuse me. I actually, this is gonna be unpopular, but I actually dug the Austin heel run. I thought it was entertaining as fuck. I thought we got to see a completely different side of Stone Cold that we would never have seen. It was perfect for the time frame with the invasion angle going on. Now, again, I am in the complete minority with this because I am one of those weirdos that love the invasion angle. Bill Ashley was just so enthralled. I was like, oh my god, like there's these other companies are coming in. I really thought WWF was in jeopardy. I was fully bought in. I was concerned that Sunday night Survivor Series 2001, that come that Monday, it was going to be WCW Monday Night Raw. Like I was fully bought in, dude. Fully bought in. Say what you want. So I really enjoyed the Austin heel run. I thought it was again very comical. I love his segments with Kurt Angle. The Kumbaya, him on the guitar, that shit was great. That shit was so funny. Now, was it maybe best for his career, like, or his character at the time? Probably not. But I think too, maybe if they excuse me, tapped into that a little bit more, maybe he could have got a little bit more longevity out. I mean, obviously, like he ended up going into the end of 2002, 2003, he Stone Cold was the commissioner, right? And the authority figure. Oh, I forget what, like, he had a little badge and he would ride around on the ATV. So I don't know, man. I think the heel turn for Austin really opened up a different dimension in his character where he didn't have to be so badass, so serious, so F the authority, all this stuff. And he could be entertaining, but not in a cringe or kiss ass way. He was just like the ideal like good guy, which then turned into a great bad guy, in my opinion. Like not great in the sense that like like the top heels, but entertaining. And I know that's not the point. But I think he played the role very well for the time frame that he was in at that point. And the dynamic, the lay of the land, the stories that were going on around him. So again, he's regretted it. I think what was it, Bruce Pritchard had said in a podcast like they regretted doing that. So I get it. But young Ashley enjoyed it. So whatever. Yes, sigh. Stephanie, in my opinion, always wins, though. She wins at everything she does, so there's that. What up, Sean? What up, bro? No, dude, I feel you. I would still be sleeping right now if I could be. um, dude, I feel you. Tomorrow's gonna be one of those days for me. I think I sleep in a little bit later. Yeah, good point though, Sean. Austin attacking JR just didn't work. Nah, 100% there. That I agree with you there. But you said the fans were just so into Austin, so it just felt weird and out of nowhere him turning. And it's a very good point. And yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. You mentioned that you didn't buy that he hated JR and would do that. Again, I agree. That's one of the things that they should have left out. Because like you like you said, you don't buy into Austin ever wanting to beat the shit out of JR. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you there. But yeah, Sean, and again, you were like, Cena's was definitely worse because he literally just pretended it never happened. And again, I felt like it could have been very easy to explain it, kind of what he did, but just be like, look, I knew going into this year, obviously it was my last year. I am not in the same condition physically that I have been in, right? This is why I'm retiring. But I knew I had one year left and I wanted to go balls to the wall. I wanted to really prove a point. I wanted to be the best. And like kind of like what he said last night, you can tie that into it too. Be like, I had some insecurities, I had some doubts that I could actually win number 17. Cody Rhodes has been a beast. He's been the quarterback, he's been the guy. I didn't think I could beat him by myself. I didn't think I could beat him straight up one-on-one. I was listening to some people who had some high power and some high influence. They led me down a path, and I thought, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. This is the last year. This is the only for sure way I know that I can beat him. So I'm gonna do it. And once I did it, and it's one of those things where careful what you wish for, because I wished for it, it happened, and now I'm here, I'm living in it, and it sucks. And I'm sorry. Simple as that. Simple as that. And again, obviously put your Cena fluff and spin on it. But something like that, dude. Like it didn't need to be how it was. Like I'm not gonna dive back into it because you guys have heard my thoughts on it now, but I just feel like yes, it's one of those where we would have been more forgiving than if it was a lot of other or almost any other wrestler, right? But we still, as the fans, were owed a little bit more in the initial turn because I was just out of nowhere. It's like, oh, yeah, JK. It's like, come on, bro. And yeah, him thinking people will forget him. You say LOL. I mean, it is LOL, right? But part of me can understand where he's coming from. Not that we'll ever forget John Cena, because you can't, right? But it's one of those things where it's like you're not necessarily forgetting someone as great as John Cena, but the focus isn't on them anymore. He's not in the daily conversations. He's not in championship discussions. He's not in any discussions, any active discussions, unless it's a quick reference to a past stat that he had or anything like that. So I think that's what he's referring to in the sense that, like, oh, I don't want you guys to forget about me. Obviously, he knows we're not going to forget about him, right? But it's in the sense that we won't be talking about him actively every day, and neither will WWE. And like you said, WWE will move on as they should and as they always do. But that need that mutual need of Cena and WWE to WWE and WWE to Cena, that's not going to be there. So I think that's like digging deep. I think that's where he's coming from. It's the sense of not that you're gonna be like, who? John Cena? Oh yeah, y'all remember John Cena? Not in that sense, but in the sense of just not even really truly talking about him. So, and again, the first few months, especially after his retirement, maybe even the first year, depending on when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame and things like that, the discussion, depends. It depends on what he does for the discussion to be there, right? Because again, like you said, we have to move on. We're going to move on. So there's going to be more things that are going to be pressing to talk about, other storylines, and we're not going to be actively talking about him. So I think that's kind of where he's coming from. Sean, you said, I'm glad Cena is leaving. I'm glad Cena is leaving, even though I respect his career very much. Didn't like his promo last night either. Wade is right that he should have lamented losing the title. Oh, I haven't listened to any recap show from last night, but that is true though. That is true. Did he even mention losing the championship like at all? And I did think it was very. It was a choice. I'll just say it was a choice to have Cena and Cody tag in like their first technical show after their Smackdown being their quote unquote home show, home brand. They just tag up and no, I don't know, and it's not because to be fair, going into the match at SummerSlam, Cena was a good guy, so it's not like Cena turned face at SummerSlam and Cody needed to be concerned or anything like that. They had the mutual respect. They hugged it out after the match. Cody left the ring to Cena. Obviously, that's when Brock came out. So I get why Cena wouldn't be like, ooh, like screw you, Cody type thing, or I don't want to tag with you, or I'm bitter or whatever. But he should be sad that he lost the championship. Like that wasn't that your whole point? Coming back this year, obviously like ending your year, but your whole focus was winning number 17. And was it just that you wanted to win it and you didn't really care like how long you held on to it? You just wanted to win it and then be done? I don't know. So I do think not going through that agony of defeat really could have added to Cena's sympathy, really, and to his pulling on our heartstrings type thing. So it's a good point, yeah. But yeah, guys, I don't know. And then the Brock Lesnar of it all, right? It's just I'm not gonna get too much in. Well, because we don't have that much time. Ooh, there we go. So I want to be mindful of everyone's time here, and I'm trying to be more concise on the channel here on Braswing Media. And again, thank you guys for popping in. If you are watching on YouTube, I appreciate it. Feel free to like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We have a lot of you guys, almost 700 people watching over on Twitter, so I appreciate that. But the Brock Lesnar of it all, I'm not going to get into the personal side of it because, like I said, we don't have enough time. And my thoughts on that. I'll probably do a show on that. I've been thinking about that a lot this week, obviously. So I'll probably do something like that on my channel sometime soon. But Cena and Lesnar, just again, keeping strictly in the wrestling side, nothing outside of the ring, just Brock Lesnar, the wrestling character, John Cena, the wrestling character. It makes sense. It makes sense. They have a very heated and storied past. The brutal beatdown Lesnar gave Cena. Was that a SummerSlam? I think it was. Insane, right? Like one of the most brutal ones that just one of the most physical matches without like any weapons and shit like that we've seen. It makes sense, like that's again, putting everything else to the side, that's just the one thing I keep going back to. It just makes sense. Now, it's really gonna be telling though who wins that. I think Cena wins that one, but I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm gonna be intrigued to see what Lesnar has to say, why he came out in F5 John Cena. Because he doesn't have Brock or he doesn't have Paul Heyman speaking for him. It's on him. It's on him to really speak on what his motivations are, why he did that to Cena, what he's going to do after Cena. Because I believe I read somewhere, or I think it was actually maybe Paul Heyman. I saw like a little like snippet of a quote where Brock Lesnar recently signed a new deal with WWE. Again, and that's I just saw something very brief, so I'm not 100% certain on that. But if that's the case, then he is going to be around for a few more years, I'd imagine. Again, with the limited schedule, of course. But I don't know. Like, what do you? I think, but what was that? 2 years ago, the match that he had with Cody Rhodes, that would have been a great swan song. Obviously, like I knew, and like we all did, and most likely, like 99% certain, was not going to be his last match. It's just a matter of time for them to figure out what was going on. And again, not going to get into that right now, but me personally, like those initial like beats of Lesnar's and like the riff of Lesnar's entrance music is like, oh shit. And then you see him and like, I don't know, like to me, I just got like my first like words. I said, really? I was like, really? Really? I'm like, all right, here we go. I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to get into my thoughts and my feelings on that personally right now, but just even character wise, like that's why I'm kind of like, okay, like I assume Cena's gonna beat Lesnar, but like what do we really do with Lesnar? You know, like that's why I thought his last match with Cody would have been great for, like I said, a swan song for him to go out on. Figured it wouldn't be. But what do you really do with Lesnar after? Like is he gonna be that big star that comes in and just puts over everyone? Is he? I don't see him being a champion again. Maybe he'll end up being the heavyweight champion on Raw. I don't necessarily see that. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, like fine, you brought him back, you signed him to a new deal, cool. But like, what are we really gonna do with him? And what like, I don't know. Maybe that's not the immediate thought, but it should be what like the follow up. Like I was saying earlier, like what are you gonna do with the follow up afterwards? So I don't know. But I hope we get something new out of Lesnar. I don't want to just see Suplex City. Like I don't want to just see like their 5 moves each, and it be like a 5 moves of doom back and forth match. Cena, the match that he had with Cody was fantastic on Sunday, and again, obviously it was a street fight, so you have more freedom. But Lesnar is the fantastic wrestler. You can't forget that, right? NCAA champion, all that shit. So I just think that, or I hope that they have a good plan, and it's not just, all right, so who are we gonna put against Cena? Oh, Lesnar. We can get Lesnar, right? We'll clear him and go through that and see what happens. I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things where I'm sure the match will be. Well, I don't even know. It depends what kind of match they have. Because if it's just gonna be suplexes and, like I said, Cena doing his moves, it's gonna be really, really obvious, really quick. So we'll see. But I have to give him credit. It is gonna be one of those matches where you go into it and it automatically has that big fight feel. So I get why they want to do it and most likely where their thought process is behind it. But I don't know. Just keeping it character wise, like I really want to hear from Brock Lesnar. I really want to hear why he's motivated to come back and beat the shit out of Cena. I mean, obviously he just gave him one F5, but you have to imagine that's what he's going to want to do, right? Why else did you come and pick a fight with Cena? So we will see, but we know of at least 2 of the next dates or opponents for Cena. Of course, like we spoke earlier on, Logan Paul, Brock Lesnar. And then you have to imagine, like, that's what I was thinking of between yesterday and today. Like, all right, we have X amount of dates left. Like, who on the roster, I don't want to say is left, but is going to go against him, because it's a big deal now. The selected few who face off against Cena this year are coveted, in my opinion, and they mean something to WWE specifically. So we'll see. We will see. I'm gonna go through the chat here, but then we'll be wrapping it up soon, guys. We'll be wrapping it up soon. Yeah. What a week. Yeah, Sean, you said, do we want to see Brock and Cena? An honest question. Again, I'm just kind of like neutral. I guess not neutral. That's a bad word. I'm not neutral. I'm just kind of like, like, okay, like I wasn't clamoring for it. And again, like I'm really trying hard not to get too in depth on it. I'm just kind of like complacent, I guess, in wrestling character wise. Real life, what may or may not have happened allegedly. Again, I'll get into that separately on my channel, but I do understand business wise why they would want to, because Brock Lesnar makes headlines, whether it's good or bad, right? Yeah, just like Sai said, Brock gets headlines and attention. That's what they want. Doesn't matter if they're good. Sai, I meant to tell you, I will be going to Massachusetts, right? Which we knew, but guess the specific area that I will be going into. If irony was a physical object, I would have been smacked in the face. Smacked in the face with it, bro. From the 17th through the 20th of this month, I will be in Canton. Sigh. I will be in fucking Canton, Massachusetts. What are the odds, dude? Like, I told my boss, because he knows, like, I've been obsessed with the whole trial, the Karen trial. I told him, I don't know what this means. I don't know what the world is trying to tell me, what the universe is trying to tell me. But out of all 50 states that my job could have sent me to, that they could have needed help, out of all the towns, out of all the cities in Massachusetts, literally the town, the city that it happened in, bro, our office is 12 minutes away. What are the fucking odds, dude? Like, when I saw that, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, I'm just still kind of blown by that. I don't know what the universe is trying to tell me, dude, but it's just very odd. Very odd. But I had to tell you, Sai. I had to tell you. I'm film your every move. Look, yeah. I'm gonna. I have my Karen Reed hoodie, bro. I was fucking planning on wearing that shit. Cause, pardon me, bro. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like, I don't know. I know, so I know. I'm trying not to talk about it too much in here, but I'm gonna try to do a show maybe sometime probably not today, sometime tomorrow on my channel. So I definitely want to talk more about it, but I just had to tell you, bro. I had to tell you because the irony, dude. Like what are like what are the odds? It's just crazy. But guys, I appreciate you all. You guys are fantastic. Like I said, I'm pretty certain things will be good for next week. Maybe. Like I said, the next couple weeks will be up in the air. Live stream wise. So just stay tuned for that. But I do I love you guys, and I appreciate you all so, so much. If you're watching here on YouTube, definitely please subscribe here and like the show. We would appreciate that. If you're watching on replay, we appreciate that as well. Feel free to drop some comments. If you'd like, you could subscribe to my channel, Kagash Podcast. That'd be cool as well. But everyone watching on Twitter, we appreciate you as well. If you are not subscribed or following Brashling Media on Twitter, definitely do that as well. But until next time, guys, yeah, I appreciate all you guys, Universal side, Fernando, Maria, Boss, all you fellas in the chat, Zach, everyone on Twitter, everyone. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, enjoy the weekend, and enjoy some wrestling, guys. Take care.